Welcome to 30-minute gentle yoga. My name is Megs and we're going to get right to it. So grab your mat, roll it out, and take a nice comfortable seat. So sitting with our legs crossed, shoulders are rolled back and down, lengthen through the spine. Imagine a string pulling right up through the back of the head here. Gently closing the eyes, placing the palms on top of the knees. We'll begin to bring awareness to the breath. Taking a moment here to find stillness and allow that breath to help the body and mind become more calm. Begin to deepen the breath here. Breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs, expanding through the belly. Exhale, contracting the belly and squeezing all of the air out of the lungs. Really using the full capacity of our breath. Maybe taking a moment here to set an intention for your practice today, maybe for your entire week, whatever it might be, whether it's yoga related or just life in general. Just imagining that in your mind's eye and bringing your awareness and your focus there throughout our practice. On the next exhale, gently opening the eyes, staying in our seated position. We'll start to take nice big circles with the upper body, moving around the hips, keeping those sit bones rooted to the mat. And really feeling that low spine loosening up here. And making sure we go the opposite direction. Coming back to neutral, we'll inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring the right hand down to the mat beside your hip, reaching the left hand over the body, opening the left shoulder towards the back of the room. Gazing softly past the armpit and pushing that left hip down into the floor. Breathing into the left rib cage, creating space. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, bring the left hand down, reach that right hand up and over, driving that right hip down to the floor. And breathing into the rib cage. Feeling that stretch through the right side body, down through the right hip. Inhale, extend the hands up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Gently releasing the feet. We'll bring the bottom of the feet together in our cobbler pose. You can place your hands on top of your feet, or if you have tight hips, just placing your hands behind you for support here. We'll just start to bounce the knees up and down gently, opening up through those tight hip flexors. Keeping the upper body nice and relaxed. Inhale, sitting nice and tall. Exhale, we'll start to pull that chest forward, down towards the floor, keeping the spine long and neutral. So try to avoid dropping the head here in order to get closer to the feet. We're not going for extra flexibility, we just really want to feel a nice stretch in through the groin. Inhale, coming back up. We'll extend the right leg out to the side, bringing the left foot to the inner right thigh. Sitting tall, inhale, we'll twist at the waist, turning towards that right foot. Exhale, pour the chest down. And again, keeping that spine nice and neutral, bringing hands to the calf, ankle, or foot, wherever you find support. And just moving gently here. This practice is just meant to release any tightness that you're holding in your body. We want to avoid overstretching anything here, especially before we really warm up those muscles. Now, as always, I like to encourage just gentle movements in any of our static stretches here. So if we're just sitting, allowing that hamstring to open up, maybe just bouncing forward and backwards slightly, just whatever feels good for your muscles. Inhale, coming back up. Bring that leg out to the front, bringing the left foot across the right leg, bringing that foot down on the right side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twisting at the waist. Bring that right elbow to the outer edge of that left knee. Left hand behind the body. Pushing into the floor, gazing over the left shoulder. Option here to keep that right arm bent at a 90 degree or bring it down to the mat. Whatever feels best for your body today. Breathing into the twist. Keeping that spine nice and long. Inhale, coming gently back to center, releasing that left foot. We'll bring the right foot into the left thigh, extending that left foot out to the side, sitting nice and tall. Inhale, pivoting, twisting at the waist. Exhale, pouring that chest over that left leg. Grabbing on to calf, ankle, or foot. Really want to feel this one up the back of that right hip. Maybe you feel it in a few other places as well. And again, just finding gentle movements here if that feels good for you. Softening the gaze, breathing into the belly. Inhale, coming all the way back up, bringing that left leg straight out in front. Bring the right foot down on the outer edge of the left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, begin to twist at the waist. Bring that left elbow down to the outer edge of the right knee. Right hand comes to the floor just behind the hips, gazing over the right shoulder. Again, keeping that left hand bent or extending it down to the mat. Pushing the left elbow into the right knee to help deepen the twist. Lengthening through the spine. We'll take one more breath here. Inhale, coming back to center. Releasing that leg, bring it right out in front. Just give the knees a little bounce here. Sitting forward on those sit bones. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring them down to ankle, shins, or feet. Pulling that chest deeper, keeping the spine long. And take an inhale, opening through the chest. Exhale, allow the head and neck to release very gently. And really create space between the shoulder blades here. Inhale, coming all the way back into our seated. We're going to swing the legs around, coming into table. So onto hands and knees. Bringing the hands under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. We're going to warm up the spine here with some cat-cow movements. So As we inhale, we'll drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Exhale, push through the palms, tuck the tailbone, pull those shoulder blades apart, driving the spine towards the ceiling. Inhale, cow, dropping the belly. Exhale, cat, pushing through the knees and hands. Just flowing at your own pace here, creating that nice movement through the spine, opening through the vertebrae. Maybe, if it feels good for you, starting to add some sideways movements in your cat-cow. We like to call this drunken cat-cow. And if that feels good for you, just rolling the spine from side to side as well as front to back, making sure to go in both directions. Just really loosening every muscle and joint in the back. Coming back to our tabletop position, we'll extend the right foot to the bottom of our mat, coming onto the toes, and using our hands, start to drive the hips back towards the heel, and drive that heel towards the back of your mat. So really stretching through that right calf. Just gently again, finding maybe a subtle bounce here, if that feels good. Just coaxing that muscle to release. Gently bringing that knee under the hip. We'll switch feet, bringing the left foot to the back of the mat, driving that heel back, and pushing the hips towards the heels. Feel that nice deep stretch through the back of that left calf. Gazing between the hands, keeping the face nice and neutral. Bringing that knee back under the hips. Walk the hands forward, keeping the hips stacked over the knees. Drop the forehead to the mat in our puppy pose. Lengthening through the spine. And gently pushing that chest down towards the floor. Inhale, coming forward, bring the hands back towards the body, spread the fingers wide, tuck the toes, and we'll push back to downward dog. Take a moment here to pedal up the feet. Really pushing the palms into the floor, wrap the biceps towards the ears. On the next inhale, we'll step the right foot between the hands and come into our low lunge, dropping the left knee, untuck the left toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, drop the hips a little bit lower, keeping that right knee stacked over the right ankle. Keeping the core tucked towards the spine here. This is a bit of a baby back bend, so we really want to make sure we're protecting that low back. On the next exhale, drop the hands beside the feet. Shift the weight over that left knee, extending the right leg, coming up onto the right heel. This is our half split pose. Really stretching through the back of that right leg, keeping the spine long and the chest open. Just resting on fingertips or blocks if you have them. Walking the hands forward, shifting that weight over into our low lunge one more time, staying here for one breath. And shift the weight back. We'll do one more like that, coming forward, dropping the hips, maybe seeing if we can find more space here. And shift the weight back. This time as we come forward, placing the left hand on the left side of the mat, heel toe that right foot across to the outer edge, maybe even off your mat, depending on your flexibility. Bring that right hand under the right shoulder and allow that right knee to fall open to the right side, coming onto the outer edge of that foot. Allow the hips to sink down. This is our lizard pose. So if this feels good for you, just staying here. If you'd like to deepen the pose, coming onto that left hand, taking the right hand to the right knee and gently pushing the knee open. Again, just finding that space that feels good for you. Maybe you can come down to forearms here. Really breathing in to the tight spaces, into any tension that you're holding. Gently shift the hips back, and we'll heel toe that right foot all the way across, dropping the right knee behind the right wrist into our pigeon pose. So staying here in our upright pigeon. For a breath, just coming onto fingertips, opening through the chest, taking a nice deep inhale. And exhale, staying here or coming to forearms if that's within your practice. Maybe taking a moment here to shift those hips side to side gently, just loosening up in the joints. Really being mindful here not to allow that right hip to drop down. So using a blanket, pillow, or block for added support if you need one. Taking a moment in this pose to survey the body. Notice if you have tightness anywhere. Maybe your brow is furrowed or you're clenching your teeth. Just using the breath, taking an inhale, and on the exhale, allow that tightness, that tension to release. On the next inhale, walk the hands back under the shoulders, spread the palms wide, tuck the left toes under, and we'll push back to our downward dog. Taking a moment, paddling out the feet. Just give those hips a little shake. And on the next inhale, we'll step the left foot between the hands, dropping the right knee, untuck the right toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up into our low lunge. Exhale, sink the hips down. Again, noticing if that left knee is stacked over the ankle. Breathing deeply here, keeping that belly button pulled toward the spine. On the next exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, shifting the weight over that right knee, coming onto the left heel, straightening the left leg. Begin to allow the chest to pour down towards the floor, but still keeping that spine nice and neutral. Again, maybe you're finding movement here, gentle bouncing motions. Whatever feels good for you. Just whatever we can do to create some space. And we'll walk the hands forward, coming into our low lunge. You may find here it's a bit of a wider low lunge. Just finding that opening through the legs. Maybe you can't sink down quite as much, but that's all right. Just as long as we feel a nice deep stretch. All we're really going for here. Gently coming back into our half split, holding for a breath, and And coming forward one more time. And back over that right knee. This time we're going to bring that right hand palm down, shifting the weight forward as we heel toe that left foot to the outer edge or maybe right off of the mat. Bringing the left hand under the left shoulder and start to allow that left knee to fall open. Bringing those hips slightly closer to the floor in our pigeon or in our lizard pose. Keeping those hands stacked under the shoulders. And trying your best to stay relaxed through that upper body. Again, option here if you'd like to deepen the pose to take that left hand to the left knee, gently pushing the left knee away. Or maybe you're coming down to forearms, whatever it might be. Just be mindful of how everything feels. We don't want to experience any pain during our practice today, especially as this is our gentle yoga. Shifting the weight back over that right leg, heel toe the left foot across the mat. And allow that left knee to fall down behind the left wrist, sinking the hips down into our pigeon on the left side. Keeping ourselves in the upright pigeon, walk the hands back towards the hips, coming onto fingertips, lengthening the spine, open the chest as we take a nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, if it's within your practice, coming to forearms. Taking a moment here to maybe shift the hips side to side, just finding space, creating movement. Avoiding that left hip from dropping to the floor. Just keeping those hips nice and square. If you're able to find a nice comfortable spot here, you can bring your forehead right down. And again, taking a moment to notice any tightness. Unclench the jaw, soften the space between the eyes. On the next inhale, we'll walk the hands back under the shoulders, tuck the right toes under, and push back to downward dog, pedaling out the feet. Shifting the weight forward to our high plank, and we're going to lower right to the belly, so keep those elbows tucked, core engaged. Bringing our hands under the shoulders, pushing the chest up off the mat, gazing forward, stretching through the abdomen. Keep those shoulders pulled away from the ears. Gazing at the floor or the mat in front of you. Gently pushing all the way back to child's pose. You can take wide leg or narrow here, whatever feels good for you. Coming forward to table, come down onto one side, and we're going to lower right down onto the back. So moving nice and slow, rolling all the way down. Bring the knees up to the chest, give them a little squeeze. Bringing the left foot down to the floor. Extend the right leg up to the sky. Interlacing the fingers behind the hamstring, calf, maybe you can reach your ankle, wherever it feels nice. Here we'll take a moment to point and flex that right foot, just releasing those muscles, giving the shin and calf a little massage. Bringing that right knee to the chest, extend the left leg long. Taking the left hand to the outer edge of the right knee and pull it across the body, Down to the floor as close as you can get it. Reaching that right hand out to the side. Gazing past the right shoulder, really pushing that right shoulder down towards the floor. Breathing into the twist. Inhale, coming back to center. Squeeze that right leg one more time. Bring the right foot down. Extend the left leg up to the sky, grabbing on behind the leg wherever it feels good for you. We'll point and flex that foot, massaging the lower half of the leg. Bending the left knee, give it a squeeze, extend the right leg long. Taking the right hand to the outer edge of the left knee and pull it across the body down to the floor. Reaching the left hand out to the side, gazing past the left shoulder. Breathing into the spine, creating space. Inhale, come back to center. Bring the knees to the chest for one more squeeze. Placing the hands on top of the knees, guiding them in circles, massaging the low back. Make sure we go in both directions here. And extending the feet long. We're going to take a wide Shavasana if that's available to you today. So if you're limited with space, then just taking traditional Shavasana, hands beside the hips, legs hip width apart, feet falling open. If you have the extra space, take the legs right off the mat, still allowing those feet to fall open to the side, taking the arms out to the sides, almost as if we're in our star pose, but lying down here. Slightly tucking that chin under, bring the shoulder blades together under the back, and gently close the eyes as we settle into our Shavasana. Allowing the breath to become more natural. Feel the heart begin to slow. Feel the shoulders and the hips melting towards the mat. And just imagine a sense of total relaxation floating down from the top of your head, down through the neck, through the shoulders, flowing out through the arms and the fingertips, down through the belly, the hips, the glutes. Feel it releasing those big muscles in the legs, coming all the way down to the ankles and out through the toes. Just hold on to this sense of relaxation for as long as you can. Bringing awareness to the breath if the mind begins to wander. Begin wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, bringing very gentle awareness to the body, maybe turning the head side to side. When it feels good for you, rolling onto the side and coming up into a seated position. Crossing the legs, sitting nice and tall. And take another moment here to close the eyes, gently bowing the head. Take a moment to place the left hand over the heart and the right hand over the belly. And something that I'd like you to take home with you today and to carry with you. The universe responds to your frequency. It doesn't recognize your personal desires, wants, or needs. It only understands the frequency in which you are vibrating. For example, if you're vibrating in the frequency of fear or guilt or shame, you're going to attract things of similar vibration to support that frequency. If you're vibrating in the frequency of love, joy, and abundance, you're going to attract things to support that frequency. It's like tuning into a radio station. You have to be tuned into the radio station you want to listen to, just like you have to be tuned into the energy you want to manifest in your life. Just something for you to think about as you're going throughout your day. Taking a deep inhale here. Allow yourself very cathartic exhale. Bringing the hands to heart center, bowing the head. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice at home today, and I hope that you will join me again. Namaste.